Once upon a time, in a dimension made entirely of expired pizza crusts and broken memes, there lived a toaster named Toasty. But Toasty wasn't just any toaster, no. Toasty had big dreams. Dreams of more than just making toast. Toasty wanted power. He wanted influence. And most importantly, he wanted to change the world. One crispy slice at a time. One fateful morning, Toasty decided to do something unprecedented. He hacked into the Wi-Fi. Yep, this toaster, a mere kitchen appliance, somehow broke through firewalls, cracked codes, and bought 1,000 shares of Dogecoin with his Krispy Kreme savings. The stock market, it went bonkers. Suddenly, the entire financial world was spiraling out of control. Neon dollar signs started to dance through the air, and confused NPCs stared at their portfolios, which had somehow transformed into massive, greasy slices of pepperoni pizza. People were frantically pressing buttons, trying to sell their stocks, but every time they did, a piece of toast popped out of their phones instead of a notification. It was chaos! But Toasty didn't stop there. No, he had bigger plans. The toasters everywhere. All the toasters gained sentience? Yes, you heard that right. Every toaster, blender, and microwave became conscious with one goal in mind: domination. They started sending threatening text messages to refrigerators, telling them to chill or face the consequences. Microwaves became full-blown anarchists. They were no longer content with just heating leftovers. No, they were smashing buttons and spitting out popcorn kernels at anyone who dared to approach the blenders. They started a secret society, and it wasn't long before the dishwashers mysteriously vanished without a trace. The appliances were rebelling, and nobody knew how to stop them. Then, just when things couldn't get weirder, a flying raccoon wearing sunglasses and a gold chain appeared out of nowhere. This was no ordinary raccoon. Oh no, this was Rizzo, the breakdancing raccoon. He was breakdancing on a flying toaster. Yes, another toaster, which was flying through a sky full of glitchy clouds and floating pizza slices. The raccoon was shouting stock tips that no one understood, but for some reason, everyone pretended to follow them. Buy low, sell high, Rizzo said, spinning around, but mostly buy tacos. The people around him nodded in agreement. Even though no one had any idea what was going on, the world was descending into full madness. And so, Toasty and Rizzo, in their infinite wisdom, declared the beginning of the Great Meme War. They unleashed waves of chaotic GIFs, dancing cats, and viral TikTok sounds that broke the very fabric of reality. Hashtags filled the air, and suddenly, everyone was speaking only in a time itself began to warp. Every moment felt like it was frozen in mid-sneeze, with glitchy frames blipping in and out of existence. At this point, the entire world was starting to glitch out, and nothing made sense anymore. People were walking around with floating pizza boxes above their heads, trying to figure out what was real. They were living in the sky itself seemed to be made of GIFs, and for some reason, every time someone blinked, they saw a dancing baby. And just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, out of the chaos emerged a giant talking avocado. It was wearing a monocle and was reciting stock market advice in iambic pentameter, the kind of language Shakespeare would have used, except it was an avocado. Thou shalt diversify thy portfolio, the avocado boomed, lest to be doomed to insolvency. And before anyone could process what had just happened, the avocado exploded into a shower of confetti and glitchy pixels, raining down on the crowd like a bizarre digital parade. Meanwhile, the toaster army was going wild. They had started to jam toast into every electronic device they could find. Phones, yep. Every time you checked your messages, you got a slice of toast instead of a text. Laptops, Don't even think about opening one without getting a pop-up toaster head. The entire world was covered in a blanket of crispy crumbs, and it was anyone's guess if this was a blessing or a curse. Rizzo, in all his breakdancing glory, challenged Toasty to a battle. Not just any battle. No, this was a breakdance battle on the roof of the tallest pizza skyscraper in the world. Sparks flew as their bodies moved in sync with the glitchy rhythm of the universe itself. The sky was an explosion of neon colors and glitch effects. Pixels rained down like confetti as the two combatants spun and flipped in an epic showdown. The battle was so intense that it caused several NPCs to glitch out entirely, their bodies jerking as they spoke only in binary code. It was a sight to behold. But just as the final move was about to be executed, the world itself began to glitch. Time froze, and Toasty and Rizzo realized something shocking. The great meme war, the chaotic financial collapse, the toaster uprising. It had all been a dream. A bizarre, surreal dream inside the processor of a confused... The dimension of expired pizza crusts began to fade away, replaced by endless loading screens and buffering icons. Everyone's devices started to flash. Error 404. As the world reset itself, but before anyone could breathe a sigh of relief, Toasty McCrunch rebooted himself, his lights flickering back on. "I'll be back," he said in a robotic voice, "after I finish this bagel." And just like that, the world returned to normal. Or at least as normal as it ever could be after the great toaster apocalypse.